All right, Miss Aurorah is back, Secured Entrepreneurs. Miss Aurorah is going to answer some of the questions that you all have been emailing. So in this video, we're going to get into just how it is you're going to begin to build tax-free wealth like a CEO. Can we do it? All right. So for those of you who do not know who I am Miss Aurorah Dey, and this is the Secured Entrepreneur Movement. All of these secured entrepreneurs know that we follow the Robert Kiyosaki philosophy, and we know the cash flow quadrant. So we see that Robert Kiyosaki talks to us on the right-hand side of the quadrant about the employee. He gets into what goes on with the employee and how they are taxed. He comes down to the self-employed. He talks about the self-employed mind and how the self-employed individual is taxed. And we know here in the Secured Entrepreneur Movement, we don't do the self-employment thing. And then we get on to the right side of the quadrant, and Robert talks to us about the business owner and how the business owner has the opportunity to be taxed differently. And then you should be graduating into the investor, where you would have more of an opportunity to take advantage of tax-free wealth, right? So here in the Secured Entrepreneur Movement, we know as the business owner, we have systems that work for us. And the spearhead of those systems would be properly structured legal entities that allow us to utilize tax deferral strategies. And we're talking every tax deferral strategy known to man, 100% legal, okay? And then, of course, in the investor side of the quadrant, we are the CEO, because we understand that as the CEO, we are responsible for the financial planning, the financial management, the capital allocation, okay? And this is how we're going from sole proprietor to CEO. We abandon the self-employment mindset. We do away with the entire 1040 lifestyle, and we don't have any interest in being in maybe the 37% tax bracket. Okay, we come over into the business owner, where we create our system that's going to work for us, and we understand how to defer taxation. We understand how to pass tax through to other entities to pay at a later time, because that's all tax deferral is, all right? Because we're about keeping more of our profits, okay? And then we come on down to the CEO, where we know that now we have the ability to not only be a bank, all right, and a few other things, but I want to go here first. One of the questions that came in was about the annuity and the tax deferral that is attached to the annuity, because this is about being in a situation where you have everything working for you that would be tax-free. Everything financial, you would have the opportunity to experience tax-free wealth through it, right? So the question is about the annuity, and if it is a situation where you would have to have the annuity for yourself as a living person, or could you invest in the annuity as one of your entities, primarily a trust? So of course, the answer to that would be yes. The thing is, I think there was a little bit of confusion just based on the email that Ms. Aurorah was reading. There are two types of annuities. You're going to either have a qualified annuity, or you're going to have a non-qualified annuity. So the qualified annuity is basically like a retirement savings plan that is funded by pre-tax dollars, right? And then the non-qualified annuity is funded by post-tax dollars. So you got a pre-tax and you have a post-tax. So if you're on the post-tax side, then yes, to invest in that annuity as for your trust would make sense. Now, the other thing is that you've got three key players in this particular type of annuity, because yes, you have a trustee, you have a beneficiary, But you also have an annuitant. Have you ever heard of that word? Okay. You also have the annuitant. Now, the annuitant and the beneficiary will not be the same person. They cannot be the same person. And Ms. Aurorah is going to put an illustration on the screen so that you understand what I'm about to explain. So the trustee is going to buy this non-qualified annuity contract, and it's going to benefit the trust's beneficiary, right? So at that point, now the trust becomes the owner and the beneficiary of this annuity. And the trustee is going to name the annuitant. Now, what you must understand is that the annuitant is the person whose death is going to trigger the benefit payout, right? So either or is about to happen here. As it relates to the death benefit, the trust is receiving the annuity death benefit at the annuitant's death. They're going to receive it either as a lump sum, or there's going to be a distribution within 5 years. Okay? Or the trustee is going to distribute the annuity to the beneficiary before the annuitant dies. And that is going to be the way that tax is deferred over the beneficiary's lifetime. So remember that as you are researching the type of annuity that you have an interest in. And all of the secured entrepreneurs know that Miss Aurorah loves annuities. And there is a video on this channel where I get into everything about annuities. Okay. All right. The other email comes from a young lady who says that she saw that we did a video where I was saying that a whole lot of people jumped on board with these insurance MLMs. And she's saying she has recently been approached by a representative of one of these insurance MLMs, and she does not understand how anything about this is tax-free. She really wasn't getting the difference between the death benefit and the life benefit. And this is what she's saying in the email. And that she didn't understand the difference between a loan and a withdrawal, and she needed some clarification. And unfortunately, this person puts an upline person on the line, and it still wasn't clear. And she's trying to figure out how it is she's benefiting from this as an entrepreneur. Okay, so I want all of the secured entrepreneurs to know, yes, you need your whole life insurance policy. I cannot stress it enough. There was a time when I did not have a whole life insurance policy. I was afraid of my own shadow. I didn't want to have a blood test, all the stuff that they tell you that freaked you out and all that stuff like that. However, when it is that you want to take a loan from your policy, that loan will not be taxable to you as long as it is equal to or less than the sum of which you paid into that policy as a premium. So you need to understand what the premium of your policy is. You know, how much are you paying? Is it a $100,000 policy? Is it a $200,000 policy? What is it? Okay, because that loan will be tax-free as long as it is equal to or less than the sum that you paid in for the premium. Now, as it relates to the withdrawal, you are able to withdraw up to the amount in which you paid into the premium without paying tax on that money. Okay, so that's how that works. That's the withdrawal. That's the loan. If you are trying to borrow money that is considered a gain, the dividends that came in from the policy, if you withdraw that money is taxable, which is why all of the secured entrepreneurs know that we're going to operate with the correct legal entities to take care of all of those things. Hint, hint. Okay. Now, let Ms. Aurorah go on. So for the emails that came in relating to the entity and the entity structure, we get a lot of emails from people who say, okay, I got this thing from, can I say LegalZoom? Can I say that? Because I'm not saying anything bad about LegalZoom. Or now a few people are saying, it's that Taylor Brands because they do a great job at marketing. So they go there and they do all this, and then they find out it's extra for this, it's extra for that, and all this stuff like this. Miss Aurorah would not know because I don't have a need to go over to Taylor Brands. I don't have a need to go over to LegalZoom. I don't have a need to do any of those things. So I'm getting all the information from all of you who are emailing us, letting us know what's going on. So please understand, I'm going to put an illustration on the screen so you understand what Miss Aurorah is about to say. Understand that with the entity, many of you are stating that you are member managed, but the member is always going to pay tax. Okay, so let's just clear that up. All right. So we want to have a manager managed entity, and understand also that because that entity, we're talking about the limited liability company here, is going to be a pass-through tax entity. Unfortunately, many people take the traditional route because this is all that they know. This is what they've been told. They're going to allow that tax to pass through to them. That is on the self-employed side of the cash flow quadrant. We do not do that here. Okay. We allow the tax to pass through to another entity. Okay. And that is how we work the wealth cycle. That's how we keep everything going and profits growing. And that's why we love Tom Wheelwright over here, Tom Wheelwright and Tax-Free Wealth, because he gets into some pretty nice, elaborate ways to pass tax through in other ways.
Income you make, the more tax you pay. The more wealth you build, the less tax you pay. How does that work? Most people, you earn income, and the more you earn, the higher the tax. You earn it, you spend it, you save it, you pay tax on it. However, what if instead of spending it, what if instead of saving it, what if you put it back into your business? No tax there because you get to deduct it. What if instead you put it into one of the 7 investments, especially real estate, business, technology, agriculture, or energy? Now you're building wealth and you're paying no tax.
All right, so these are some of the ways that you can begin to build tax-free wealth like a CEO. And if you have not already, please go down in the links and click on the one for tax-free wealth. Watch that training. And you all know that you need to have your trust in place. So click the link in that description for the Trust Basics course. And you already know you can find me, Miss Aurorah Dey, at AurorahDayConsulting.com. And until next time, ta-ta.